What if your favorite future NBA star suddenly vanished from the spotlight? From Michael Carter-Williams' near quadruple double debut to Tyreek Evans joining a stat club with LeBron and MJ, these young stars had the league buzzing until everything changed. Injuries, off-court issues, or bad timing. Some careers faded faster than they rose. But behind each fall-off is a story that still inspires, surprises, and stings. So what really happened? And could it happen to the next breakout rookie? Stick around as we break down the wild rise and sudden fall of these NBA talents. If you believe every story has two sides, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more untold basketball journeys. Michael Carter-Williams. Michael Carter-Williams made one of the most explosive debuts in NBA history, nearly posting a quadruple-double against the defending champion Miami Heat. He then earned Rookie of the Year, averaging 16.7 points, 6.3 assists, 6.2 rebounds, and 1.9 steals. Fans believed Philadelphia had found their next franchise point guard. However, his early dominance proved misleading, with critics suggesting his stats were inflated due to high usage on a weak Sixers team. His inconsistent shooting and underwhelming playmaking became glaring flaws, leading to his trade by his second season. He bounced around teams like Milwaukee and Charlotte, never reclaiming his early magic, ultimately falling from a promising leader to a bench role player. Tyreek Evans. Tyreek Evans looked like a future all-star after his rookie season, averaging 20.1 points, 5.3 assists, and 5.1 rebounds. The 6'6" guard was strong, skilled, and seemingly unstoppable on the court. However, Sacramento misused him, shifting him away from his natural point guard position, which shattered his rhythm and confidence completely. Although he briefly reignited his form in Memphis during 2017, the dream abruptly ended in 2019. Evans was banned indefinitely by the NBA for violating its drug policy, a shocking and career-ending twist for a player once seen as a franchise cornerstone, leaving fans stunned and still pondering what could have been with his immense potential. Jennings. Brandon Jennings burst into the league like a flash of lightning, famously dropping 55 points in just his 7th NBA game, the most ever for a player that early. This performance instantly made him a sensation across the league. Unfortunately, that explosive night became the pinnacle of his career. While he averaged 15.5 points as a rookie, he never made the leap to consistent stardom. He struggled with shot selection, finishing, and overall consistency. After a trade to Detroit and stints overseas, Jennings quietly faded from the spotlight, a textbook example of a future NBA star who completely fell off after an electrifying start. Mayo. Mayo was once touted as the next Kobe Bryant, a high school legend drafted 3rd overall in 2008 by Memphis, quickly averaging 18.5 points per game as a rookie. However, that number would remain the highest of his career. Mayo's scoring and influence gradually declined. By the time he joined the Dallas Mavericks, he was already a shadow of the star people expected. His downfall became official in 2016 when, at just 28 years old, he was suspended indefinitely for violating the NBA's drug policy. Though eligible to return, he never rejoined the league, instead playing in China and other international leagues, marking a steep and disappointing fall for a once hyped star. Bennett. Anthony Bennett's selection as the #1 overall pick in 2013 stunned everyone and became a massive draft mistake. Coming out of UNLV, Bennett was raw, unpolished, and never looked ready for NBA competition. In just 4 seasons, he bounced around 4 teams, averaging only 4.4 points and 3.1 rebounds per game, making him one of the worst top picks in history. Despite attempts to revive his career in the G League and overseas, he never showed the talent or growth expected from a top selection. His short NBA career and minimal impact made him a textbook bust and a cautionary tale for risky draft day decisions. Darko Milicic. Darko Milicic's name is forever linked to one of the biggest draft blunders in NBA history. Taken #2 overall in 2003, throughout his career, he averaged just 6 points and 4 rebounds per game. He became known for his bad attitude, poor work ethic, and even admitted he disliked basketball. Eventually, Milicic quit the game and turned to farming in Serbia. His story isn't just about underachievement, it's about a top pick who never truly wanted to succeed in the league. Oden. Oden might be the saddest case of fallen potential in NBA history. Drafted #1 overall in 2007 ahead of Kevin Durant, Oden was considered a once-in-a-generation big man, destined for greatness. At his best, he was a defensive monster, averaging 2.3 blocks and 8.5 rebounds in 23 minutes per game. However, his knees tragically betrayed him repeatedly. Oden underwent multiple surgeries and missed entire seasons, playing just 105 games in 5 years as his body couldn't handle NBA demands. Unlike others who underperformed, Oden had the skill. He just never had the health. His name still haunts Portland fans, who will forever wonder what could have happened had Oden stayed healthy and fulfilled his immense potential. Jay Williams. Jay Williams' downfall had nothing to do with poor play. It was a tragic accident that completely derailed his promising NBA future. After a stellar college career at Duke and being drafted number 2 overall in 2002, he had a strong rookie season and looked like a long-term building block. But just a year later, he crashed his motorcycle, violating his contract and suffering devastating, career-ending injuries. He tried to make a comeback, but it never materialized. His fall wasn't about skill, it was a heartbreaking reminder that off-court decisions can destroy even elite NBA talent instantly. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose's fall was as dramatic as his meteoric rise. As the youngest, most valuable player in NBA history at just 22, Rose was electrifying early on with unmatched speed, fearlessness, and clutch play. However, a catastrophic ACL tear in 2012, just as the Chicago Bulls were dominating, changed everything. From MVP to a journeyman role player, Rose's body simply couldn't keep up with his past brilliance. His career became a poignant case study in what could have been, showcasing how devastating injuries can completely rewrite even the brightest NBA journeys into faded memories. Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas's story is almost Shakespearean in its tragedy. From being the last pick in the draft to averaging nearly 29 points per game with the Celtics, Thomas became known as King in the Fourth. He played through personal pain and injury, even dropping 53 points in the playoffs after his sister's death. But a devastating hip injury abruptly ended that dream run. A trade to Cleveland exposed his weakened body and fading explosiveness, and he looked lost with the Los Angeles Lakers, never again resembling the all-NBA talent he was. He plummeted from beloved superstar to struggling for a roster spot in just months, a heartbreaking fall few saw coming. Falling off the NBA radar doesn't always mean failure. Sometimes it means fate had other plans. Whether it was injuries, off-court missteps, or just being in the wrong system at the wrong time, these once rising stars remind us how fragile greatness can be. So here's the question: which of these players deserved a second shot? And who do you think had the saddest fall from grace? Drop your thoughts below. We're listening. If you love stories that reveal the other side of fame, like this video, subscribe and share it with a friend who still remembers these forgotten stars.